Hi everyone, good morning. I hope you are able to hear me. Can anyone please
Hi,
confirm?
Yes,
hi,
sir.
Bhaskar. I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So in the last session, we started talking about line charts, and if you wanted to show the trends, then how you are going to show the trends that we are going to see. And we just kept the fields, but we didn't get a chance to do how we can do formatting. So I'm going to show you how we can do formatting even for the line. I mean to say, we have a line and area family charts. If you know how we can do it for one chart, you can reuse for any of the line and family charts, line and area family charts. So line and area family charts, for any of them, we can use it. Now I'm having the data from the January to December. That is fine. So I'm not going to show you how we can do it having three characters or short month. Let's talk about that later. For time being, let's see how we can do formatting of your line chart. So for line also we are going to have a x-axis and y-axis. Let's do format for that. I just selected a chart. Go to your formatting section. Expand this x-axis. If I switch off this values, then title will go off. If I switch on it, you can have a x-axis values here. Let's expand this values, and I'm just going to increase this size for visibility. Let me keep up to 13. I'm just leaving everything as it is. I don't need the title of this x-axis. The reason is, so when the moment you see this x-axis, you can feel that is a month. We don't need to say explicitly that is a month. So title is not required. So I'm just going to switch off this title. And if you want to change the color, you can change the color. I'm just taking a thick black. So x-axis formatting is done. So once we have done the x-axis formatting, so once you're done x-axis formatting, then we have to do y-axis formatting. So this y-axis formatting, just observe the way we have done for x-axis. In the very much similar way, we are going to do for y-axis. Let's expand this y-axis and take out this title. I'm just going to increase the values up to 12. You can directly enter the number also. And once you've done this, so when you go for the line chart, basically the line, the name itself saying that we can do formatting of this line also. We can do formatting of this line. So how we can do formatting of this line is just select this line chart and just observe here, come little down, you can find there is a lines. So when there is a line, so you have to concentrate on the line to format it. And when there is a line, you have to concentrate on markers also. So markers also is important. Let's do formatting of this. Expand these lines. In the lines we are having, the line is going to have it, the type of the line we are going to have, at the same time, the color of the line also we are going to have it. So we can change the color and we can change the line. We can change the color of the line and we can change the type of the line. Let's expand this line. You can see the line style by default, it is having solid. I wanted to take a different line. If you want, then you can choose a dash line. You can see. And if you wanted to go for dotted, then I can take a dotted. So previously we were not having this custom. Now we are having a custom also. Okay, so you can change this array types that we can change accordingly. Then it is going to get a line here. I mean to say, if you wanted to have a custom line, then you can go for custom line. Now I'm just going to take for time being with solid, the default one. And the width is having, so width is width is going to show you how much a thickness of the line you wanted to have it. So I wanted to have a thickness of the line is 5, just for time being. You can see how thickness it is. So the line thickness will be taken based on the business requirement. We are not going to take with our own interest. So definitely we have to take it by requirement. And the color of the line, if you wanted to change, you can change. You can see how it is going to change. Just observe. By default, this line color is there. I'm just going to keep it as it is. So we have seen how we can do formatting of the line and how we can have a color for the line. Just minimize this. Now, if I have a chart like this, the problem is here we have a bubble. In this place. Okay, so if you move the cursor, then bubble is getting visible. But without moving the cursor on the visual, I wanted to have some marker to make it much more readable. So if you want to make it much more readable, then we need to have a bubble so that it is going to be readable. So to do this, you have to concentrate on markers. You can see here. Expand these markers. Just switch on this. So when I switch on, there is a marker is there, but I wanted to increase the size of this marker. You can see how it is changing. Just for visibility, I'm just giving 8 here as the thickness of the line is little more. But in general, we are going to take mostly the default thing, or we may go for one pointer to increase, not much more than that. So just for demo purpose, I'm taking thickness of the line is more, and because of that reason, this shape also is going to be increased. Then I wanted to keep a different color for the marker so that it is going to be more highlight. Then color also is there for marker. You can keep any color. They will come up with the colors. So we don't need to worry about it. So I'm just taking with my own interest different colors I'm taking. And if you wanted to reduce the transparency, you can reduce. You can see how it exactly it is getting. The transparency is going to help you if you wanted to shade your color. You can see if it is 100%, then it's just going to be white color that is not visible like this. If you keep 0, then as it is thickness of the exact color is going to show you. Borders is not required. Okay, so I'm just saying inside this markers, we don't need a border. And this is how the chart is going to be there. Now, even I wanted to say even I wanted to say here the label of the marker. I wanted to see the value of this marker. So if I wanted to see the value of this marker, then we talked about data labels, right? So let's say take a visual, go to your format section and find your data labels. So by default, these data labels are off mode. We can switch on it. So when there is a values, then definitely we are going to do formatting. I mean to say we can increase the text size. Let me go here. I'm just going to increase the text size to make it readable. Let me take a pure black. So depends on your requirement. You can take this formatting of this. And then I wanted to do formatting of this title. So title formatting in the top, you can find it's a common for all the visuals. So I'm just going to increase the text size. The background color, I'm just going to take a light gold color. So if they give a color code, then it is fine. We can directly go and do it. But if not, we can choose whatever the color is required. Just select the visual. I wanted to give a border also for this. So to give a border is there in the size and style. Expand this and you can find a visual border. Switch on it and just observe. So this is a line chart. So how these trends are going from January to December, it is showing. How this is going from January to December, it is showing here. And if I need a slicer for year wise, I wanted to see it. Then report will expect a slicer because this is showing for all the years. It's not saying for which year it is. So if that is the case, then we need to have a slicer. We talked about the slicer. Let me come back to here. Here I have a slicer. Let's take a copy of this. I'm just giving an idea. If they wanted to say the data by year wise, then we're going to keep that. Do not sync. So I wanted to have this as a year. So year column is not available at this point of time. So what I have to do is let's take out all of them and we can see year. We'll see how we can do it later. I mean to say, if I wanted to have this exactly with the naming standard, then how you're going to have it. We'll see that. Now slicer header, I'm just going to say year. Just observe. So at the time of creating a dashboard, you can get a complete clear picture. So here I'm just talking bits and pieces. We know how we can create a slicer. Now we know how we can create a line chart or column and bar family charts. If I take this 2009, I think this is not coming from this particular area. So I wanted to keep order date. Let's take out this and keep it here. Now if I select a 2012, then you can see it is playing. So if they wanted to see data for only 2012, they will select 2012 and they can understand how data is going on. So in the January, there is a very huge sales. In the February also is having more, and suddenly in the March, it fall down in the year of 2012. Okay, so like this, they're going to compare the trends month by month. So how this previous month is there and current month is there. And how much percentage increased and how much percentage is decreased. If you want to know this, if you wanted to do that kind of visualization, then we have to do some workaround for that. So we'll see that how exactly we can handle that kind of analysis. So now this one we have done. So when you do line and area family charts, let's take a line charts, then make sure to format line and markers. The next chart is use case. So this kind of things also we are going to do very frequently. So I'm just taking that also. Create a line chart to show sales by order month and gender. Show gender male in dotted lines with the stepped layout and show gender female solid line chart, solid line with square markers. So these two things I wanted to handle it here. One is gender male in a dotted line and gender female is a solid line. But dotted line with step layout, I wanted to see it. And here step layout and round circle markers. So markers here is round circle, but whereas here is a square markers. It's a normal line that I'm going to take here and let's see. So I'm going to use the existed chart. Let's take a copy of this. Go to another page, paste it. I'm just expanding. Now I have only one line by month, but I wanted to show this by gender. So if you wanted to slice this by gender, if you wanted to slice this by gender, then definitely we need to have a legend. In the legend, we need to bring this gender. Let's bring this gender into the legend. So when I bring this, then it is showing a data like this. For better readability, let me take the slicer also. Okay, let me have data for any year is fine. So I have a line for both of them, female and male. Female and male is there. So here my requirement is gender male should be in a dotted line. But here both of the charts are having same line. I mean to say the thickness of the line and the type of the line is very much similar. So I'm just increasing the text size for this legend just for readability. Now I wanted to change this line style. So if you wanted to change the line style or if you wanted to format the line, then we need to take the formatting option for that. So we already know how we can do formatting of the line. Just select this, expand the line. So line solid is there. When I take it dashed, both lines are dashed. When I take it dotted, both lines are dotted. When I take it dotted, both lines are dotted. When I take a solid, both lines are solid. So I wanted to change this. If you wanted to change the line format specific to that, then we need to choose the series. So by using the series, we can change as per the business requirement. So if they need any format for any specific line or specific style of the line, then we can take a series. By using series from the line, we can format every line as per business requirement. So as per business requirement, we can do if we go with the series. Just observe here. So let's concentrate here. So gender male in dotted line. So I need to select a male. Just select a male. If we switch off this, then it's completely gone. If we switch on this, then you can have a line. Line style, what is the line style here? I wanted to show in a dotted line. So line style is a dotted line. So dots are there for these lines. And I'm just going to reduce this size so that we can see clearly the dotted lines. Dotted line with stepped layout. Somewhere you can find that step layout. This one. Total line is there. Okay. Interpolation type. So when I select both of them, it is showing just give a moment. So basically it has to give for select a mail, it has to be switch on. So this change somewhere it is we need to fix. So previously it was not like this. So changes are happened for this. I'll come back to this particular area, how we can make it as a step layout. I mean to say, if you see, I have a interpolation here, a smooth is there, and linear is there. So linear is the default one, and step you're going to have something like this. So somewhere it is required to set it. I'll come to this later. So when I select all, it is working, but it has to work even if I select M. So previously it was like that. We used to change this one. So I'm just taking a normal, I mean, linear type. I'm just going to take it. Okay. So marker is a circle marker. So I wanted to change the marker color for this. Only for mail, I wanted to change. Just go to the color. Let's take a different color. Now you can see. So by seeing that, I can understand I'm looking for the marker color is what I can say. This color is going to say male, and blue is a sky blue is a female. So if you want to change that line color, you can change that line color. Let me change that line color for. Let's go with the male color. This is fine. So different color is there now. In the same way, I'm going to do it for a female. Let's take a female. So female size also, I'm just going to reduce this 1 point. And color let it be as it is. But this markers should be square markers. So we need to go to the markers. So if they're asking a formatting for any specific two markers, then go to the marker section and do it. And if they're asking specific to the line, then go to the line section and do format. And if they're asking about label, then go to the label and do it. So you need some practice for this. So once you have done your practice, then you can understand where exactly the formatting options are available. So if you're not in a position to find where exactly they're available, you can also search with some naming standard, they will come to here. The shape of the marker, I'm taking a square. For male, no change. So I have to take a female. For female, square markers. So this is how we need to do formatting. But one problem is there here. Readability also is important. Okay. So if you can have a short month, then it is fine. They can understand. You don't worry about how this line is clumsy or something. You don't need to worry. They will understand it. The business users can understand what it is, what is happening, all the things they can understand. Let's save this. One more line chart one more use case I wanted to explain. Create a line chart to show sales and quantity by month. Sales and quantity I wanted to show. So if that is the case, then basically in x-axis, we are going to have what? So in x, we are going to have a month, and in y-axis, we are going to have sales as well as quantity. These two, we are going to have it. Just observe here also. Let me take this line chart. I mean to say, I need a thick line to explain. Paste it. So I'm already having a sales here, and I wanted to bring the quantity. Let's go to the data section and search for sales quantity. So I'm just going to bring this sales quantity into y-axis. Just drag and drop it and rename this as a quantity. Rename this as a quantity. Now you tell me, is this readable? So if we see here, this axis is not readable. So this kind of issues you are going to get while designing the dashboard, while creating your reports. So how we can fix this? The reason why it is not showing properly is because the quantity will be very less. The volume of the numbers for quantity is less, whereas the sales is more. So because of that reason, these two measures are not fit into this chart. So we need to make it readable. First, let me take out this title from here. I wanted to show only sales and quantity. Let's select the visual, go to format section. In the legend, just switch off the title. Now you can see only sales and quantity. Increase the text size. That's all. Now, what you have to do is the volume of this sales is more, the volume of the quantity is less. So do not show within the same axis, do not show very higher volume and very lower volume. That's not going to be possible to read it. So that is the one point you have to keep in mind. Do not show higher volume of numbers and lower volume of numbers in the same axis. To avoid above problem, we have to use secondary axis. Secondary axis, we are going to use it. Just give me 1 minute. My charging is down. So how we are going to do is, instead of keeping this here, y1, or let's say this is a primary axis I wanted to say. The same way, we can also have a secondary. In the secondary axis, I'm going to show quantity. The volume of the numbers are very less. So I'm going to show like this. Come to here. Go to your format section. Build section. This line only we are going to have that possibility. Y-axis, secondary Y-axis. Y-axis and secondary Y-axis we are going to have only for this. So if you go for other charts, you cannot see them. I'm just going to bring this field, just drag and drop into the secondary axis. So when I keep this here, so automatically it is getting changed. But everywhere it is having same to same. Same numbers are there. Thus, not possible in general. So quantity 34900 is strange. Let me take a slicer and see. Font is same. Something wrong. Let's see the data here. Oh, you know what? When the moment to see the numbers same, then keep in mind two things you have to keep in mind. One is no relationship. If there is a multiple tables, no relationship between tables. That means we have a x-axis a column and y-axis, secondary y-axis, we have a quantity, right? So to slice this numbers, these two columns should have a relationship. If you don't have a relationship, then the numbers are going to get something like this. So if we have a same number, then definitely 99.99% there is a problem. So here is a problem. The problem is quantity is not coming from the cust details. So quantity is coming from other table. So there is no relationship between those two tables. If there is a relationship, then it works. If there is no relationship, that will not work. So I'm just going to take again quantity. From this table, not from this table. Now let me take a quantity. You can see it. So when there is a more quantity, then there is a more sales. When there is a less quantity, then there is a sales also is going to be changed, right? So if you sold more product, then you'll get more sales. Something like that. So you can see here, just concentrate on y-axis. I wanted to do format. The y-axis range you can see here thousands. But I mean this is secondary y-axis. But primary y-axis I'm having the scale is in millions. So scale of y-axis is different and scale of secondary y-axis is different. So let me do the formatting for this. Let's go to format section. So you have to concentrate on secondary y-axis. In the secondary y-axis, I'm just going to take the range I wanted to show from 0. Now you can see. If I take a secondary axis 0, then you can see here. And this one also I'll take it from the 0. Y-axis value also, the range I'm just going to start from the 0. Then you can see. From 0 it is, and this is also from the 0. Okay. So it's all depends. If you're going to start from somewhere around, then the scale is going to change. It's all depends on your requirement. You can change the scale, and I wanted to increase this value little more. So y-axis is having in thousands, and whereas I mean so y2 is having in thousands and y1 is having in millions. Still this value secondary values. Okay. Now it's just fine. Okay, so this is a line chart. So in the feature sessions, I'm going to talk about how we can have a short length for this. And the recently we got one more change from the line chart, that is a shadowed area. Let's go to the format. Somewhere I've seen that. Yeah. So shade area, you can just switch on this. If you switch on, then it is going to looks like a line chart. Okay, so the area is going to be shaded if you switch on this. So if you change the color, then you can change the color. Whatever the color you wanted to change, you can change. If you want to go for thickness little more or little less, then you can have like this. The look and feel is going to be little different. So based on the business requirement, you can change whatever the formatting options that you wanted to do it for the chart. So this is about a line chart. So area chart. It is also used to compare trends like line chart. Okay, so just observe, if I if I take out this into, I mean, if I take out this shade, then chart is looks like this. Just take a copy of this chart. Here I'm going to say area chart. Paste this. So same to same, there is no difference from the line chart to area chart. If I hit on it, then it is going to get like this. This is the area chart. So area chart, the shade area, you have to on it. Okay, so it's same to same like your line only, right? Even if I take a line chart, if we switch off this, then it is a just line chart. So previously for area chart, only we used to have this shade area, whereas in the line chart we don't have that option. But the line chart also is now having that shade area. Because of that, if we switch on, it's going to be line. Sorry, it's going to be area chart only. So if you don't shade this, then it is a line. If you shade this, then it is a area chart. So these two are very much similar. There is no difference between them except this shading of the area. And area chart also is going to have your secondary axis. Your line chart also is going to have a secondary axis. So if you want to show the secondary axis, then you can also show secondary axis if there is a less volume of the numbers versus with higher volume of the numbers. So in that particular situation, we are going to use that. Okay, so I'm stopping here and we'll see the stacked area chart, and there is a combo charts are available when you combine line chart and column family charts. How exactly that is going to show, we are going to see them on tomorrow's session. Any question, guys, before stopping?
All good, Bhaskar. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll see you on tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.